Hi, I'm Domenic. Sometimes people call me Dom, and this is 26 Questions with Dom.
MEXC.com is here for you, whether you would like to trade, maximize your investment, or much more. So for that, we have this QR code here for you to sign up and get 20% off your trading fees, or you can use the link down in the description box, whatever works for you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and smash that like button. Domenic, thank you so much for coming over to the interview, and I'm really glad that you're here and we can finally have this conversation. How are you today?
Absolutely fantastic. Life is good.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. Yeah, we have some questions from the community that they would like to ask you. But before we jump into those, I actually wanted to ask a couple of questions on my own. So I'm going to do a little screen share here of your website. I checked it out, and I specifically wanted to ask you about the case studies on your website. So you have all these great companies listed, and I'm wondering, how is Banxa helping them? Maybe you could provide a couple of examples, so, just to clear out the picture.
That's a good question. Partly in answering that question, it's a good overview to give people a summary of what Banxa does. Banxa provides the payment and compliance infrastructure to major crypto exchanges, wallets out in the marketplace. And so we help them continue focusing on being a crypto exchange while we take over and manage all the fiat on-ramps as well as the fiat off-ramps in a compliant way. And one of the case studies and one of the articles there is around lost revenue. And we know that Banxa has some of the highest conversion rates in the industry. And this is a way that we can help our exchange partners and increasingly DeFi platforms and NFT platforms increase their revenue, increase traction and stickiness with customers by using Banxa.
Yeah, actually, I see here your slogan, conversion is king, for that specific section. And it says here 62% of customers who have a failed order don't try a service again. So I'm just wondering, how are you able to improve that, so to make sure that that percentage, actually goes down, that more people are able to place those orders?
A couple of reasons. Part of it is the internal secret sauce over the last 8 years. But at the same time, Banxa is known for not only offering credit card or global payments and Apple Pay, but also local payment methods like ACH in the US, Ideal in the Netherlands, faster payments in the UK, and the list goes on. And local payment methods offer a much higher conversion rate and effectively creating a much better customer experience, in my view, than purely credit card. And that's one of the major ways that we have differentiated ourselves from our competitors, because most of our competitors do credit card only. And from our partner perspective, the exchanges and the DeFi platforms and NFT platforms we work with, for them, conversion is absolutely critical. And so by offering both credit card and local payment methods, we can offer them the highest conversion rates in the industry.
If we go back briefly to the case studies, you have quite big names here. And I just, scrolled around and specifically clicked on Changely here. And after watching the video of how it works, what I understood is that basically, if you were to buy cryptocurrency through Changely by using Banxa, from what I understood from the video, it gives you better rates. Is that the correct assumption that I'm having here?
Obviously, better rates, because credit card is inherently expensive around the world, while a local payment method is much cheaper. And by way of example, a credit card could cost anywhere from 2, 3, 4, up to 5%, depending upon the country and the credit card, while a local payment method can cost you pennies. So that's why we can even offer a better price, a faster service, and a high conversion rate.
Are you helping cryptocurrency exchanges, or there are some extra features that you're adding to when partnering with them?
So when we work with our partners, we do some fairly deep integration. We effectively try and understand their business, how we can help them with our fiat on and off ramps, how can we get tightly integrated with the wallet, just to make the customer experience as seamless as possible. As I say in the industry, reduce the friction, and then ultimately delivering that coin, that token to the customer in the fastest period of time. And usually, on average, most customers from start to finish, it's under 5 minutes. they have their Bitcoin, Ethereum, or stablecoin sitting in their Binance or Corebit or Bityard wallet, very, very quickly. So that's really the value that we can provide to our partners and ultimately all the customers of our partners.
Thank you for clearing that up. Now go to the questions from the community. Okay, so question number one. Your project has great features. There must be an experienced team behind it. Can you tell us about your team and their experiences in the market?
That's a really good question, because my view is, from a business perspective, it always starts with the team. And in fact, I was doing the sums the other day. I looked at our senior management team, and there is collectively around 200 years of business experience with our senior management team. There's a significant amount of experience, and obviously a percentage of that is focused around the blockchain, and a number of people within the company, including myself, have been involved since 2013. So really, really early in the development of the ecosystem. And for me, it really starts with our team and led by our great CEO, Holger Ardians. And so from that perspective, great team. And then we're, continually working with our customers and our partners to ultimately build a great business for everyone.
Solid. In 10 words, can you explain what Banxa is offering to the DeFi world? The viewer decided to limit you down to 10 words, but yeah, feel free to explain the way you deem necessary.
Banxa is like the PayPal for the crypto industry, including the DeFi industry. And we allow customers to go from fiat directly into a DeFi coin without having to effectively go through multiple steps in the process. So it's simpler, faster, and cheaper.
Sounds good. In what ways is your project revolutionary?
We believe that Banxa is doing things very differently in the space. We combine credit card with local payment methods, and most importantly, wrapped with multiple crypto licenses, or sometimes called VAS, Virtual Asset Service Provider licenses. We know that the industry is becoming much more regulated. And so it's really bringing together both payments and compliance into a single API, which is just another fancy name for a technical connection, and ultimately meaning we can provide our customers with a much more seamless experience, which is compliant around the world.
Good. As you look back to the day when you started this project, do you guys feel satisfied by seeing your progress and achievements till now? And can you share your thoughts with us on that?
It's always business is a journey, and we've, as an organization, over the last 7-8 years, have had our ups and downs. And as you know, since 2013, there's been a couple of crypto winters. I think the fact that we've survived, and not only survived, but have really been prospering. Our TTV, our total transaction value, which is one of the key measures in the business, is up over 100% September quarter to the December quarter. And that's really a testament to the great team and to the loyal partners that we have. And for me, business is obviously, on one hand, it's a bunch of contracts, and it's also about a bunch of people. And we've got a really good team that loves what the company does, which means that we're able to provide fanatical support, really good support to our partners and ultimately their customers, which means a really good experience for everyone.
Moving on to question number 5. What are Banxa plans for global expansion? What are you currently focusing on? Expanding or listing on more exchanges, building your ecosystem, or marketing and partnerships?
It's really a combination of all of the above. We will continue adding more partners, not only across the exchanges, but NFT platforms, gaming, metaverse. There's significant opportunities, and adding more countries, acquiring more local payment methods with more coins and more VAS, Virtual Asset Service Provider licenses. Very much doing more of what we're currently doing, but on a global basis. Right now, we're working on expanding into new countries such as Brazil, Turkey, India, much more focus around the US as well. So it's really a combination of all of the above, and ultimately it's global domination what we're looking for.
Right. Yeah, just out of curiosity, does it take much time to overcome, the legal hurdles of, getting into a market in a specific country? Does it differ from country to country, or you have a certain, maybe, procedure in place that is well ironed out and get in smoothly, so to speak?
It depends upon which country we're talking about. Out of our 220 people, roughly a quarter of those people are in regulation and compliance. So we have a very, very strong focus around making sure that we follow the rules, because that's partly our job for our partners, is making sure that we're adopting and managing all the rules and the regulations in each of the key countries. And that means going and acquiring licenses. It is not an easy process. It's quite a challenging process, but we like challenges. And we've already acquired multiple VASP licenses. We have a strong pipeline of new licenses to acquire. And the fact that Banxa is listed on a well-known global exchange, the Toronto Stock Exchange, and very soon NASDAQ, which I can talk about shortly, just adds further credibility when we are dealing with regulators in each of those countries.
Okay, question number 6. I want to know what makes Banxa stand out. What makes it different from other PSP that might be similar? Also, what is your maximum potential?
One of the key differentiators with Banxa compared to our competition is that we offer more local payment methods than most of our competitors put together, which then means a faster and cheaper outcome for the customers and a higher conversion rate for our partners. In terms of maximum potential, this really comes back to our vision. Why are we here? We know that the whole industry is now moving from the early adopter, the nerds like me, and I'll put up my hand and say I'm one of those nerds, to now moving into what I call the mass market. This is where I think the big growth is going to come from over the next 5 or 6 years, from the ordinary consumer that isn't the early adopter, isn't the finance nerd or the tech nerd. And our vision and focus is onboarding the next billion people into the crypto space. And we know that most of the people exist in the fiat world. When I say fiat, I mean the US, Euro, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar world. And we want to help them with our on-ramps enter this new financial system.
You're saying that you're one of the early adopters. And I was just wondering what got you interested, in the crypto industry to start with? I mean, obviously Banxa is 8 years in the making. So what caught your attention to even explore that field in the first place?
Back in 2013, reading obviously the Bitcoin white paper, I was generally fascinated by the technology and the fact that the whole industry moves so quickly. And we've seen many, many peaks and troughs. But ultimately, once again, if I take a step back, peer-to-peer, decentralized currency made sense in 2013. It makes even more sense today with all the geopolitical things that are going on in the world. There's going to be an even greater need for decentralized currencies, and we're a big advocate and believer in Web 3.0. We think that's the next big evolution. Companies, new companies haven't even been created yet. We're very, very positive. Having said all of that, all of these new Web 3 applications will need the fiat on-ramps to on-ramp the mass market, because the mass market still lives in the fiat world.
Thank you for elaborating. All right, moving on to question number 7. How does Banxa plan to combine the world of traditional finance with the world of cryptocurrencies? You covered that quite a bit already. And I also see that another question from one of our viewers is, how do you plan on getting Banxa adopted and being put in daily use by the people? I think those two are quite connected together. So if you could provide some additional input, that would be great.
It's really about why does Banxa exist? We're all about creating the bridge between the existing fiat world, or in this case, the traditional finance world, and the digital asset world. So that means that we need to straddle rules and regulations and compliance like AML, KYC. And we believe by doing this, we'll help drive the next billion people into crypto. And ultimately, how do we get Banxa out there? Right now, we have over 100 partners like Binance and Ledger and Trezor and a whole KuCoin and OKX and many, many others. And so part of what we need to do is to continue expanding our business by integrating into crypto to crypto exchanges, NFT platforms, DeFi platforms, and gaming, and just making it really simple for people to take their money from the existing financial system and invest it, transfer it into this new financial system.
Yep. Okay. Question number 9. Your project name seems to be very interesting. Does it have any story behind it? And can you share with us the inspiration for approaching this name?
A lot of brainstorming that was done with regards to the name Banxa. It was really a team effort. And at the same time, we're a big believer of having a generic .com name. And luckily, we could actually buy the .com as well. And that's one of those things when coming up with a name for a company, it's always around, the name. Can you get a trademark? Can you get the .com associated with it? We just love the name Banxa. I think it really oozes and represents what the company does and why it's here.
Yep, very nice and easy. Cool. Question number 10. How many global crypto exchanges have partnerships with Banxa?
To date, we have over 100 partnerships, and we expect that to continue increasing over the next couple of years. Once again, this space is growing so quickly, and I encourage anyone who would like to join up with Banxa, visit our website, have a read of the information. There's a lot of information there, and if it makes sense, click that contact button and get in contact with us.
Yeah, guys, make sure to check that out, and we're also going to drop the links down in the description box for you as well. Pump and dump are becoming a major problem in the crypto space, and it needs to be solved. Could you please tell me how Banxa prevents whales from manipulating the price?
First of all, Banxa, we don't have a token. We are a traditional company, and we are listed on a global recognized exchange, the TSX, the Toronto Stock Exchange, which is the biggest exchange in Canada. And we're right now in the process of making a move to NASDAQ. So we really don't have that issue around pump and dump that you normally have with illiquid tokens. Our equity is tradable. Anyone out there and investors can actually go and buy our stock, through the TSX and very soon on NASDAQ. So in that respect, this is actually not a problem that comes from an equity investment as opposed to a token type investment.
Is there a minimum amount of investment that an individual should start with if they would like to buy your stock? Is it open for individuals as well, or is it mainly for companies?
Anyone, any investor. So for example, if you're in Australia, through CommSec, which is a broker there, you can buy shares in the TSX. Or if you're around the world, Interactive Brokers is another broking platform that allows you to buy TSX shares. So anyone around the world, you could even buy $500 worth of shares. Obviously, you need to go and sign up with the broker and go through the process. Then you'll have access to a whole bunch of other crypto companies that are listed on global exchanges.
Just out of curiosity, any plans for a token perhaps in the future, or this is something that you're not considering?
At this stage, we're not considering. I think there is still a bit of, I'm not going to say skepticism, but question marks around tokens and companies. Are they bona fide utility tokens? Are they securities? We know that the SEC in the US is putting a big spotlight on a lot of token issuance. And so our view is it's best to, let's call it, stay clear of tokens at this particular point in time. We can obviously support tokens on our platform, but I don't think we're going to be ever tokenizing the business, given that we are listed and we're making that move across to NASDAQ, which is the biggest exchange in the world for technology companies.
Right, at least until it's not regulated in a global sense, right? Okay, great. Question number 12. From a startup project to a mainstream project, being a pioneer in the industry, does Banxa team anticipate that many new startups will show up and compete?
I think competition is just part of a growing business and a growing ecosystem. I think competition makes us go, build faster and smarter. So we certainly welcome any competition out there. At the same time, it's not just competition in the payment and regtech space. And one of the things that we're doing, I should mention this, as we acquire more and more VASP licenses, what we're doing is building a moat, defensible moat around our business, because it is not an easy process. Some licenses can take up to 2 years to acquire. It's a long, inexpensive process. But what we've seen really, the growth has come from DeFi and NFTs and gaming and the metaverse. From that perspective, that is, those industries and those verticals are highly complementary to what Banxa is doing. And we're going to see many, many more sign-ups of partnerships in those particular verticals.
Question number 13. So what do you think about the boom of the NFT and DeFi association that is causing so much interest in the world? How does the Banxa project take advantage of this reality?
We see significant opportunities in DeFi, in the NFT space, in gaming and metaverse. We've got a team on the ground looking at what are the new projects out there. We're already offering a number of layer 2 solutions and coins in the marketplace. And where we see demand or where we see opportunity in terms of growth, we will partner with those particular projects. We will bring those protocols on board and then allow consumers to trade from fiat straight into a layer 2. And that's once again part of the value proposition of Banxa. You don't need to go effectively multiple steps or multiple hops, as they say, fiat straight into a coin, including a layer 2 token.
Right. Out of curiosity again, do you think that Banxa could help somehow with the gaming space, specifically blockchain gaming? Or is that a niche that you're not really interested in?
I think gaming's another massive vertical, potentially bigger than the NFT space. And I'm a big believer of the NFT space. If there's a token that's there on the blockchain, that's something that Banxa will certainly look at. Because ultimately what we do is we go from fiat money into a token and back again. We will be able to provide, like we do crypto to crypto exchanges, we will be able to provide those fiat on-ramps as well as fiat off-ramps to the gaming platforms out there. And in fact, we've got multiple conversations going on in that space as well.
Okay, cool. Many projects have problems with UI UX, and this can turn off new users. How do you plan to improve the interactions with new users and with users outside of the crypto space?
Improving the flow, the way customers use our product is obviously front and center of the way that we think as an organization. Customers can go from effectively clicking their first button on Banxa, completing AML KYC, to receiving crypto in their wallet in under 5 minutes. So it's already a fairly seamless user experience. Obviously, we're always going to try and improve that, but there are certain steps that are inevitable, like AML KYC, because we are a regulated company and we're operating in a regulated market. We do need to actually go through that. But UI, UX, front and center of what we do as an organization.
Community is very important for a project. When you are creating your project, do you consider feedback and demands from the community?
I've got a little saying that the reason God gave us one mouth and two ears is so we can actually listen twice as much as we talk. And we adopt a very similar philosophy at Banxa. We actively solicit feedback from our partners, from our customers. What can we do to improve? What's next? Because sometimes the customers are closer to the action than we are. And so having that, I call it active listening, feedback, asking the questions, is there anything else? Do you have any suggestions? Because you never know what comes out of asking those particular questions.
Right. What are your security measures for hacking and bugs in smart contracts? Have you conducted any audit to make your smart contract safe? It's actually related to the token question. So yeah, you might want to clear that up once again, please.
Yeah, because Banxa is a limited company traded on exchange, we don't actually have a smart contract or a token. Hence, we haven't conducted any specific, let's call it security on the smart contract. However, we are in the crypto space. And so we have a dedicated internal security team, which is augmented by a number of external security firms. So, this is obviously a very important part of the business. Obviously, I can't go into giving details because we don't want to let people know in regards to what we're doing and how we're doing internally. Suffice to say, we have a big team, a growing team, which is augmented by external firms that really help us in this space. At the same time, the company is audited. We have an external auditor that audits the company on a quarterly basis as well. So that's really one way that we can effectively just provide open financials and be very transparent to all of our shareholders because we are a listed company.
Are there any plans for community expansion for non-English speakers? Do you have an ambassador program as well as a local community?
Right now, our platform is in English. One of the good things about the whole crypto space, let's call it English-centric. Most people can at least navigate around that. However, adding a multilingual feature to Banxa is certainly on our roadmap. I won't say it's actually the highest priority. We've had other requests from customers and partners that are actually a greater priority than the multilingual feature, but I do know that it's there as something that we are looking at. That changes, obviously we'll announce that to the marketplace.
Is this project really good for the future? If so, how can you prove that?
And it's not just about fiat on-ramps and regulation and compliance, but why are we really here? We believe that the blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, is basically helping create a new financial system, a peer-to-peer decentralized financial system. And so whether you are sitting in an office tower in New York, laying on a beach in Bali, or plowing the fields in Rwanda, you will have access to the same information and the same financial tools that high net worth investors and institutions have. And that is really about democratizing finance. And so our mission is onboarding the next billion people into the crypto space, helping them convert their fiat money into digital assets. And that's why we're here. This is why it's much bigger than just Banxa. There's a real philosophical reason why we do what we do, because we believe this will ultimately change the world for the better.
Sounds like a solid plan. Question number 19, do you have tutorial videos so we can get to know your project more clearly? Or do you have a YouTube channel or something? Can you share it with us?
Yeah, there's plenty of information online on our website, banxa.com, on our YouTube channel. I'd say it's more targeted towards the financial investing community. That's really the core focus of our YouTube channel at this particular point in time. And as you can see, there's earning calls there as well. We'll obviously continue releasing more information, not only with me speaking, but many members of our team as well.
Yeah, guys, you see it on the screen right now, and we of course will drop the links down in the description. Okay, and we're down to the last question for today, Domenic. So what are the major goals Banxa would like to achieve in the next 3-4 years? And what are the plans you have to expand and gain more adoption?
It really comes back down to our mission of onboarding the next 1 billion people in a very seamless way. And if we can be part of that in helping transition the next billion from the fiat world into the digital asset world, and then pioneering and really helping push the boundaries and making it really simple for the mass market to move into NFTs and gaming and DeFi, that for us would be a major goal or goals accomplished. And so we are very, very bullish on the whole sector. We think that just taking NFTs, for example, we think this will spur this whole new creative innovation, and ultimately there will be new ways for creators to create new content. We think that's a big opportunity. And there's obviously DeFi and gaming, and I could talk about that for the next couple of hours. Suffice to say, we want to do the right thing by our customers and our partners and onboard the next 1 billion people.
Thank you so much, Domenic, for answering all the questions from the community. Guys, if you saw one of your questions on the screen, that means you are the lucky winner and you can claim your reward by following the instructions in the description box. Domenic, now it is your turn to ask your 6 questions back to the community so they can earn additional rewards whenever you're ready.
Question 1, how many countries do we serve at Banxa? Question 2, name one partner of Banxa. Question 3, in which year was Banxa founded? Question 4, what is Banxa's vision and mission? Question 5, what was Banxa's year-on-year growth? Question 6, name your favorite coin that you can buy through Banxa.
Awesome. Guys, if you would like to earn additional rewards, drop a comment down below under this video. We will choose the lucky winner. That wraps it up for today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Domenic, thank you so much for explaining the ins and outs of your project. I wish you nothing but success, and I hope that we will do this sometime in the future.
Thank you, Mark, and thanks for having me, and thanks everyone for listening in.
Take care.